I reported my old. I reported my old workplace to the tax office because they fired me. Context: I was the only white person. Everyone else was Punjabi/Pakistani. I'm also 19th and I'm completely self-reliant on putting myself through university/college and don't get any help from my family. Also ATO equals Australian Taxation Office. So I worked for a local pizza place for 10 months before the owner sold the business and changed ownership. It was only a small place. You only needed 4 staff for a busy night and I was the pizza chef. During the transition phase, I trained the new owners on everything: making and packing pizza, using the order system, all of the health and safety rules, customer service skills. During this time, we got along really well. Even on some late nights, they would drop me home if it was raining and we would talk about family/friends/hobbies, etc. Unfortunately, on the first week they took over, I got sick from tonsillitis and couldn't work. But when I came back, their attitude towards me changed completely. They were rude, gave me less shifts, and dismissed me completely when I tried to help and refused to give me more responsibilities when beforehand they told me that when they took over I'd be learning how to make pastas and not just pizzas. They were also not listening to me when I told them they weren't following the OHS occupational health and safety rules, working without a hairnet, not washing hands, etc. During this time I saw one of my coworkers without a hairnet on. She has butt-length hair and it was down in a braid. I told her in front of the owner that she needed to wear a hairnet as it's a breach of our OHS rules and that if someone gets a hair in their food or gets sick then the company will be liable and we could get in trouble. She told me no and the owner agreed with her. 10 minutes later I found a ball of her hair sitting right where I make pizza. I grabbed it and took it to her and told her where I found it and that she has to put a hairnet on. She put a hairnet on top of her head but left her braid out. The next week I was talking to one of my coworkers and he wanted the next day off and I wanted to work, so we asked if we could switch as it would have been a Tuesday, normally slowest days of the week, and that it would be a good opportunity for me to get training in making pastas while my coworker could relax. The owner said no and that they wanted the other guy to work and not me. A month or so later I had a 2-week holiday to the US that they knew about and approved of, and when I came back I asked about my shifts and they told me they don't need me anymore. When I asked why, they couldn't give me a proper reason. Some reasons they gave me were that I was rude and racist to coworkers, that I refused to work in the kitchen, I messed up paperwork, and that they were overstaffed. All of which is false. I'm literally a chef and I texted my now ex-coworkers asking if I was rude or racist to them. They said I'm not and the only paperwork was my employee form, which I didn't mess up. They then hung up on me and then sent me abusive texts saying that I'm racist to my coworkers. Again, I asked them this and they said I'm not, and when I responded they told me they would get a lawyer involved if I contacted them again. Just to reiterate, under the old ownership who I worked for 9-ish months, there were never any problems between myself, the owner, and any of my coworkers. Anyway, so here's where my petty revenge comes in. While I worked there I saw them do a lot of cash in hand payments to staff along with some other sketchy stuff with money. It's been 3 months and I don't have my super/retirement fund payment. So I called the ATO Australian Tax Office and told them about everything, about all of the cash in hand payments, about the absence of my super payment, not paying staff fairly, etc. The person on the phone told me that my information was more than enough and that they would be starting an investigation which will most likely turn into the owners getting audited. So go ahead and fire me for no reason. They'll report you.